What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse, and this is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today, I'm going to be doing a PayPal request for Millen. This is the return of Halo. This is Halo 4, and the song is called 117. I've only checked out one Halo song prior to this, and it was actually a really cool reaction. One of my favorite videos. I never owned an Xbox, so I never played Halo. Actually, I also lied about that. I did play it with friends, after school, LAN parties and stuff. But I never, played a whole campaign. We just used to just mess around on multiplayer and stuff like that. But I don't know what the music really sounds like. I was surprised the first time I heard it because they had guitars and all these crazy things. The only thing I know about Halo is the infamous main theme with the oohs and ahs. So yeah, Halo, the whole series, Xbox, all that is beyond me. Anyways, so here we go. We're going back into it. It's been a while. 117 from Halo 4. Let's go. Composed by Kazuma Janauchi. Hmm. So cinematic. We're only halfway. Very parade, like snare. Parade slash military. Everything's picking up a little. Feels like we're reaching an apex right now. I love when a fade to black on a video is synced up with the fade of the song. Okay, well, that's one of the few times where I was just kind of left with like nothing to say during it. I was just kind of just embracing it and getting kind of lost. It felt very much like a journey, like a ride, a crusade, something through space or something like that. And it's funny I say journey because it kind of reminds me of the game Journey a little bit as far as the atmospheric like ambiance type of thing. But it also to me overwhelmingly gave me the feel of like ascension or descension. Basically just going in a certain direction emotionally. And at the very, towards the end, it seemed like it was climbing and climbing, getting this crescendo going until it hit this kind of pinnacle, and then it just boom, brought it all down with like a very somewhat sudden conclusion to what we just heard. Very cinematic, very big and epic, which this is kind of what I'd imagine Halo to sound like, if that makes any sense. Even as someone who's never really paid attention to the series, just from what I've seen and the budget it has, and I know this is like Microsoft's baby, like I would imagine it to sound something like that, but not as I guess as impressive as this was. You know, it just had a lot of layers and depth to it. But overall, I kept thinking of two games that I've covered here recently, and that's the Ace Combat and Project Wingman, which are both dogfighting jet games. Basically, not that particularly, but just the idea of like aviation and just being in the sky. And from what I know about Halo, which is very little, I know there are like ships and spaces involved, and just being I've seen, I remember playing on like levels and they're like up in the sky, stuff like this. So there's a lot of like verticality in this game, and it feels that way. It feels as though we are just up in the clouds or something like that. But as far as a sort of gameplay or setting for this, it didn't really loop. It just felt like it kept going linear. So it makes me think if it's like to me it sounded on the somewhere between a like ending credits, like I could see like names going up and down, or probably a huge turning point in the story. I don't know how stories are in these games, campaigns, but it's definitely a long sequence. It was a 7-minute, almost 8-minute song of just consistent moving forward. So it makes me think this has to be a very big moment, if maybe talking is or dialogue is over this or something like that. But as far as the song title goes with it, I don't know what that means. 117, kind of vague. What I did like though is this kind of clash of genres that we don't get to hear too often, and it's subtle enough to where you may not even notice it. Like obviously this is like on the orchestral, somewhat classical side, but underneath that we have this layer of like electronic little ambience, a little doom, like just little things like that, that they're turned down low and they're just more of part of the whole package, which is why I thought of Project Wingman, because Jose Pavli, the composer for that game, does kind of the same thing of like mixing like electronic percussions and little synth parts here and there, but the main thing is this whole like orchestral arrangement. So that's kind of cool. You don't really hear that too often. I hear it mostly in like trailers for movies and stuff like that. I don't know if I said that already, but it definitely reminded me of like a movie soundtrack. Again, the whole cinematic experience. It feels like I'm in like, a ride at Disney or something, and just that's the only way I can describe it. They should do that. Halo should totally have like its own ride. I mean, experience. But also just the overwhelmingly response that I kept getting was like, this is a mission, or whether you're playing it or reading about it or hearing about it, something mission related, which is kind of vague, but also the song is kind of vague as well. It has such a certain musical element to it that is so broad. I can't narrow it down to any specific thing besides the closest thing that I said earlier was like aviation, being in the sky, stuff like that, or even credits. But I don't know anything beyond that. I don't remember if multiplayer has music. I don't remember if, when it comes to Halo, I basically know close to nothing. I know Master Chief and the plasma sword, and that's about it. And just jumping and sticky blue grenades, So obviously I'm talking like I haven't played since, oh God, let's see, 14, 15 years. I'm looking at the date on my computer. I'm like, what? So yeah, it's, I barely know anything about it. I think Halo 2 might have been the last time I even touched it. So I'm very curious, and I'm sure the Halo community will fill me in on it, I'm sure. Where this plays, what's the big deal about it? And the reason I ask that is because I'm looking at it and it has 2.4 million views. And I don't know if that's the Halo name behind it or if it's associated with like a really important part of the song, you know what I'm saying? So far, from the 2 songs up, or 3 technically, the main theme, the other one, I forgot what it was called, but it was called like Mjolnir Mix or something. And then this one, it's a huge ambient soundtrack. But something tells me that there's more that it offers, and it's not just like this. So I'm very curious because this is a huge series. I don't always do, big names. I just do whatever gets requested to me. I don't pick and choose my, I don't do just AAA songs. I do everything. I've done games where nobody knows what it is, to like 3 people know what it is, to billions of people know what it is. So this is one of the few times where like a really, really, really big title is featured on the channel. And I'm sure with that comes a lot of people that know about these things and can fill someone in like me who knows nothing about it. So really cool. I don't know who Kazuma Jinochi is, but apparently composed it. I don't know if I've done anything else from them, but really cool. Very, very getting lost worthy, because that's what happened to me. I was just kind of drifting into space. So did its job as far as ambience goes. If you want to get a request done to me, just like Millen did, you can do so on Patreon or PayPal. Either are totally fine if you do not mind waiting in a very, 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 very long wait. There is only one me and a lot of songs. I apologize. If you want to cut that wait down to basically nothing, there is the Platinum Trophy tier on Patreon, which some people I'm going to shout out right now are a part of. That is Justin, Kevin, Moon Knight, DJ Singletone, Your Average Metalhead, and Mushi Mary. Thanks to them for supporting that. Thanks to all my other Patreon supporters for keeping this going and supporting me. And to you for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Thanks again to Millen for the request and for helping me out on the channel. Until next time, dudes and dudettes, my name is Jesse. This has been The Auditorium. Peace.